见着观世音菩萨了。法界佛教总会创办人宣化上人开示于1976年美国金山圣寺。
This series of lectures was given in 1976 by Venerable Master.
念观世音菩萨，拜观世音菩萨。观世音菩萨来现身见你，你又不认识观世音菩萨。
Well, we recite the name of Guanyin Bodhisattva, and we bow to make prostrations to Guanyin Bodhisattva. And yet when Guanyin Bodhisattva appears in person right before us, we don't recognize him.
所以我们众生啊，就是很苦恼。
That's why I say living beings are really pathetic.
什么叫做观世音菩萨现身你不认识？
What do I mean when I say Guanyin Bodhisattva appears in person before us and we don't recognize him?
就是你那个当面观。
It's referring to whatever test comes up for you.
也就是你那个考验。你念观世音菩萨，要学观世音菩萨那个样子。
As we recite Guanyin Bodhisattva's name, we should learn to be like him.
观世音菩萨是大慈大悲、大愿大力。
Guanyin Bodhisattva possesses great kindness, great compassion, great vows, and great strength.
那么，俺们念观世音菩萨，也要学观世音菩萨的大慈大悲、大愿大力。
So, when we're mindful of Guanyin Bodhisattva, it means we also must learn to have his kind of great kindness, great compassion, great vows, and great strength.
无论谁对俺们有不好的地方，俺们应该不动心。
No matter who is unkind to us or mistreats us, we should not allow our minds to move. We should remain calm.
也就是说，谁骂我们，我们要忍。
Another way of saying it is whoever curses us, we should bear it.
谁打俺们，俺们要忍。
Whoever beats us, we should bear it.
甚至有人想要杀了俺们，俺们也要忍。
Even if somebody wants to kill us, we should bear it.
要认，并且要认账。
And also, we should recognize what's due us, recognize what we have to pay for.
为什么要认账呢？
Why do we have to recognize what we have to pay for?
假如我往昔没有杀过这个人，
If in the past I hadn't killed that person,
他不会来杀我。
he would never come to kill me.
我往昔没有骂过这个人，他也不会来骂我。
If in the past I hadn't scolded that person, he would never come to scold me.
我在往昔没有打过人，人呢也不会打我。
If in the past I hadn't beaten someone, that person wouldn't come back to beat me.
为什么有人骂我、打我、杀我？
Why do people curse me and beat me and kill me?
因为我往昔在那个愚痴的时候，
Because Back in the past, when I was deluded and foolish,
也骂过人，
I cursed people.
也打过人，
I beat people.
也杀过人。
And I killed people.
所以今生俺们遇到这个境界，
And so in this life, when we meet the same sort of circumstance,
这只是还债而已，把俺们
all we're doing is paying back our debts.
往昔所欠的这种债务还了它。
We're repaying the debts we accrued in the past.
那么以前不明白的时候，就好像扛债不还似的。
In the past, because we didn't understand, we ran out on our debts. We didn't pay back our debts.
人的钱也不愿意还人家。
We borrowed people's money, but we didn't pay it back.
那么现在明白了，
Well, now we understand.
咱们就应该老老实实的承认这种的债务。
So now we should very honestly acknowledge the fact that we have unpaid debts.
所以俺们要能承认这种的债务这就是见着观世音菩萨了。
Admitting our debts, we can see Guanyin Bodhisattva.
就和观世音菩萨有真正的这法眷属的关系了。
And we can truly be part of the retinue, the dharma retinue, or the clan of Guanyin Bodhisattva.
俺们要能承认这种的债务，
If we can admit our debt,
这就是见着观世音菩萨了。
then that is to see Guanyin Bodhisattva.
就和观世音菩萨有真正的这法眷属的关系了。
Then we are like relatives in the Dharma. We are part of Guanyin Bodhisattva's retinue in the Dharma.
所以俺们各位天天念观世音菩萨，一见着人就看人家不对。
So every day we recite Guanyin Bodhisattva's name, but then whenever we meet up with somebody, we start looking for for the things they're doing wrong. We start looking for ways to criticize them.
你净瞅人不对，是自己苦没了。
If you're always looking for others' faults, then that proves your own suffering is still not ended.
你要净看人家不对，那就是自己的苦根没有尽。
If you're always finding fault and criticizing other people, then the roots of your own suffering are not yet over.
所以我们各位一定要认识这种境界，
So we should try to recognize this state.
照了这个法的底源。
We should try to penetrate through, to illumine and understand the very source of the Dharma.
你学佛法必须要会用佛法。
We should get to the bottom of the Dharma. People who study Buddha Dharma also have to be able to use it.
你要不会用佛法，那你学到什么时候，佛法也是佛法，你自己也是自己。
If we don't know how to put the Buddha Dharma into practice, how to make it function, then we can study for as long as we like, but the Buddha Dharma will still be the Buddha Dharma and we will still be ourselves.
如果你要会用了， 那就和这个佛法呀打成一片了。
But if you're able to use it, then you can become united with, become one with the Dharma.
和佛法呀不能分开。
So that you are indivisible from the Buddha Dharma.
那么这个人呢
Patience.
是最要紧的。
It's really the most important thing.
人就是叫你不愿意的事情你要忍。
Patience is saying that you have to bear the very things that you just cannot stand, the things you find unendurable.
我不愿意挨骂吗？
I don't like to get scolded.
好，这回有人骂我，我欢喜。
But if somebody scolds me, then I'm just going to be pleasant.
我不愿意挨打。
I don't want to be beaten.
那么有人打我，我更欢喜。
But if somebody beats me, I'll still be nice.
我不愿意被人杀。
Of course, I don't want to be killed by someone.
这个生命啊是很宝贵的。
Because life is precious.
那么如果有人愿意杀，这是了脱我这一生的业障。
But if somebody wants to kill me, then I can look at it this way. It's going to put an end to the karmic obstacles that I carry this life.
这是我真正的善知识。
And so, in fact, he is my true, good, and wise advisor.
所以各位学佛法就要倒过来。
So, in studying Buddhism, you want to look at the opposite. You want to learn to turn things around.
你修道要倒过来，怎么倒过来呢？
In cultivating the way, you have to cultivate from the reverse.
就是你不愿意的事情，你要愿意。
How do we flip it over? How do we turn things around? Well, the things you don't like, you learn to like.
你愿意的事情呢，也不是说不愿意。
And as to the things you like, you don't object to those. You don't turn on those.
让给旁人。
You just yield them to other people.
这就是明白佛法的表现。
That's evidence that you are clear about the Buddha Dharma.
你要还是像一般人那么样子看不破放不下这个我执。
But if you're like most people who can't see through things and can't put them down, who have a great big ego, a big attachment to themselves,
也不空法执，也不空。
they haven't made their attachment to their ego empty, and they haven't made their attachment to Dharma's empty.
有人我众生受者，这种种的麻烦就都现出来了。
And then besides that, there's others, self-others, living beings, and a lifespan. And then that brings about all kinds of trouble.
你要能以向后退一步来想，
If you could just step back and consider things calmly,
那什么事情都会天空地阔的。
then no matter what happens, it'll be all right.
咱们学佛法，
天空地阔。
要会用，要知道怎么样用。
So in studying Buddhism, you have to be able to make it function. You have to know how to make what you're learning function.
这是很要紧的。佛法，那就好像吞个枣一样。
If you study Buddhism but you don't know how to use it, then it's just like swallowing a date whole.
这个对，囫囵，也不嚼，就拿去咽下去。
You don't chew up the date, you just swallow it.
这个枣的甜味一点也不知道。
And if you do that, you're not going to perceive any of the sweetness of the flavor of the date.
你要会用啊，就好像啊，你吃这个枣子，你能以啊把它嚼破。
If you know how to use the dharma, then that would be like chewing up the date.
慢慢的吃，
Slowly eating it so you can taste the sweet meat.
啊里边呢味道你知道。咱们学佛法也不要啊，在什么高深的地方去学。
And in studying Buddhism, we don't want to go looking in lofty and profound and esoteric places for it.
平常心是道，
The ordinary mind is the way.
就平平常常这个心就是道。
The normal mind is the way.
直心是道场，
The straight mind is the place of cultivation, the way place.
用你直心来修行。你念观音菩萨，
So, you should be straightforward in your practice. When you recite Guanyin Bodhisattva's name,
不要有一个贪心，
don't have greed there, thoughts of greed.
不要说我念观音菩萨我会发财，
Don't think things like, well, I hope by reciting Guanyin Bodhisattva's name I can get rich.
那是办不到的。
It won't happen.
那么你要没有这个贪心呢，或者就会办得到的。
Now, if you didn't have that greedy thought to get rich, it might happen.
啊，你没有这个贪心反而会得，有这个贪心呢就不会得了。
So with greed, then you won't get what you want. But without greed, you might get it.
你念观音菩萨，也不需要说是啊，我念观音菩萨，然后我到外边去对人讲啊，我在某某地方打过观音期。
Or you don't want to be reciting Guanyin Bodhisattva's name so that later you can go out and publicize the fact and say, do you know that I recited Guanyin Bodhisattva's name in a recitation session at such and such a place?
啊，你没有参加过，
And you didn't.
你呀就不如我了。
So that makes you not as good as me.
不要想这个，
Don't think like that.
也不要贪这个名，也不要贪这个利。
Don't be greedy for fame. Don't be greedy for benefits.
啊，也不贪享受。
Don't be greedy for pleasures and luxuries.
念观音菩萨就要啊，平平常常这个心来。
Use your normal mind, the ordinary mind, when you recite Guanyin Bodhisattva's name.
念，没有一切的所求。
Don't seek for anything.
啊，不要像啊，有的人念观音菩萨说我没有儿子，求个儿子啊，有的又求个女。
Don't be like some people who recite Guanyin Bodhisattva's name thinking, well, I don't have a son, so I'm going to seek for a son. Or, I don't have a daughter, so I'm going to seek for a daughter.
有的啊，这个男孩子啊，就要念观音菩萨，求一个很美丽的女朋友。
Or the boys recite Guanyin Bodhisattva's name hoping for a beautiful girlfriend.
那么女孩子呢，也想要求一个男朋友。
Or the girls recite Guanyin Bodhisattva's name hoping for a boyfriend.
这不可以。
That's not the way to do it. That's not allowed.
念观音菩萨，把这些个肮脏的念头都要没有。
So we don't want to have any kinds of thoughts like that when we recite Guanyin Bodhisattva's name.
啊，不要有贪心，不要有嗔心，不要有痴心。
So our thoughts shouldn't have greed in them, or anger, or delusion.
就是你天天呢穿的衣服也不要管它好不好，就
For example, we shouldn't pay attention to whether the clothes we are wearing are fine or not.
秋天不冷，这就可以了。
If they protect us from the cold, that's sufficient.
吃的饮食也不要说我念观音菩萨要吃点好东西。
Nor should you recite Guanyin Bodhisattva's name with the hope of getting good things to eat.
也不可以的。
That's not okay either.
能吃饱了就可以。
You should just be satisfied to get enough to eat. That should be sufficient.
不要有一种贪
Don't be greedy.
美味的这种思想。你要有的话，那你没有真念观音菩萨。
So don't be greedy for delicious food. If you are, then you're not really mindful of Guanyin Bodhisattva.
你真念观音菩萨，怎么还会想吃好的、穿好的、住好的？
If you were really being mindful of Guanyin Bodhisattva's name, how could you possibly be concerned about good things to eat, or nice clothes to wear, or a good place to live?
什么都忘了
You would have forgotten all those things.
什么都忘了，那你与观音菩萨才能合二为一。
When you do forget all those things, then you can become one with Guanyin Bodhisattva.
观音菩萨我们每一个众生的心里头都有一位观音菩萨。
Because inside the mind of every living being, there is a Guanyin Bodhisattva.
因为有一位观音菩萨在你的心里，所以你现在才能念。
So, since we already have a Guanyin Bodhisattva in our minds, then all we need to do is be mindful of him. Remember him.
你的一念呢，就是念你心里头的观音菩萨。
So your mindfulness is a mindfulness of the Guanyin Bodhisattva in your own mind.
说我找我心里没有，我连个心都没有。
You say, well, I've been looking for him in there, in my mind, but I can't find him. I can't even find my mind.
那你要连个心都没有呢，就不要念观音菩萨了。
Well, if you really don't have any mind at all, then you don't have a need to be mindful of Guanyin Bodhisattva.
那就是观世音。
Because just that is Guanyin Bodhisattva.
观音菩萨就是没有心的。
Guanyin Bodhisattva doesn't have a mind.
他不打一切妄想，
Which means he doesn't indulge in idle thoughts, in false thinking.
没有贪心，没有嗔心，没有痴心，他也不
And he's devoid of greed, hatred, and delusion.
计划我今天穿一点好的衣服，
He would never be thinking, today I wonder what nice thing I'm going to wear,
或者吃一点好的东西，
or what good things I'm going to eat,
受一点好的供养，
or what nice offerings might come my way.
不想这个。
He doesn't think of such things.
说是我今天睡没睡觉呢？观音菩萨也不想这个。
Or thinking about having a little extra sleep, Guanyin Bodhisattva doesn't think about those things.
什么都不想，
He doesn't think about anything.
一切无着，一切不求。
He has no attachments, and he seeks for nothing.
他所做的就是这个度众生。
What he does do, what his work is to rescue living beings.
他愿意令一切众生都离苦得乐，
He wants all living beings to leave suffering, attain bliss,
了生脱死，
and end their birth and death,
早成佛道。
so that they